first came across Norseman after a friend of mine, Tim won it in 2011, and that kind of put it on the map in my head. And I had been an endurance athlete ever since I first did Ironman Hawaii in '99. So when I was 25ish. So how I got started in multi-sport was really when I was in high school. I started swimming competitively. Actually, I swam competitively since I was 7. But
It's very interesting, you know. He started out at swimming, and I can remember when we took him to swim lessons, and we were watching him, and he's hanging there on the wall, a little afraid and stuff like that, and I'm saying, hey, that kid's they're not even watching him. Maybe he's gonna drown or something like that. And we're ready to run over there, but he went from hanging on the wall to I think he started out in the 8 and under group, and he just kept on improving, and we'd go to all his
swam all the way up through high school, and then a little bit in college, and then was on the rowing team in college. And then it was right around that college time frame when my dad asked me to do a triathlon with him. And this is
Did I inspire him? I suppose, because he saw me doing this thing, exercising, and he maybe saw that I was getting a high out of it, and maybe he thought he could get that same high. I don't know. Oh.
My interest for athletics kind of increased through college and stuff. He asked me to do one with him, which was an indoor race for the first time in Iowa and Des Moines, and I just really liked the very minimal training that I did. But I mean, the bike was on an Aerodyne, swim was in a pool, and the run was on a track. So very basic, very intro, but just kind of the motion, the transition. Something clicked with me, and I really liked it. So then from there, I just thought, okay, well, what's next? Obviously, an outdoor triathlon, and a sprint triathlon, an Olympic triathlon. So it kind of came to be something where I could tell it started to become kind of a lifestyle for me, even at the early ages of 25, 26 at the time. I know a lot of people start earlier than that, but that's kind of when I started. So I get inspired by people that have overcome a lot of obstacles in their lives. So we see stories all the time on the news and on TV where people have came from very dark places, and they find athletics to be kind of a saving grace. And for those people who, whether they came from drug addiction, where they came from being overweight, being from a very bad upbringing, something maybe in their heads switched. They were introduced to somebody else, and they changed their lifestyle for the better, for either their mind or their body or both. People like that really inspire me. I can't give you any specific names, but I can just say that over the years of just tracking people and seeing people's journeys and reading about them, knowing that there's hope out there for people that maybe did come from a bad place, where there were bumps in the road, that they didn't think there was anywhere to turn, but they discovered fitness and they discovered health and wellness and athletics, and that changed their life to be the better. That to me is just a testament that there's no stopping the human spirit when it comes to things like that. Going back to Norseman one time, I can't tell you how excited I am to be a part of this race. It is a race that is very, very hard to get into, and I feel lucky that I was able to get a slot as one of the few Americans that get to go. And not to mention that too, looking back at all my races, obviously those are all supported. This is very different. It's very personal. It's very special, because you're not only encountering the environment, the mountains, the land, you get to learn new culture, learning about the people. That's what it's all about. And to have all of that included, it couldn't be more perfect. So I'm excited to be there and excited to see what can happen. And I really tried to take it seriously. I've done a lot of endurance events. I've done a lot of Ironmans, and I have this kind of template. I'm self-coached, so I have this template of what I need to do, when I need to do it, how many weeks out, what those weekends look like, and during the week. Norseman's very different. It's a very different animal. There's 17,000 feet of climbing. It's 4 different climate zones. It's cold water. There's a lot of different variables in that. So I thought to myself, okay, my logic is, let's use that long distance training as kind of a foundation, but just add in some things that the Norseman will dish up specifically in terms of climbing and some of these other things. So 2 of my friends, Mark Vermeersch and Sonia Weck, they both did the race, and I talked to them extensively about how they planned their training, what they did, and a few key things. This was early on back in January. A few things I heard of: climb, climb. So do a lot of climbing. Um, Try to practice sometimes working out where you're calorie deficient, because since it's self-supported, I'm not going to have the luxury of just grabbing a cup off the side of the road and having people throw wet cloths on my back all the time, right? So it's self-supported. So that's a lot of times why, as you saw, Eric, that's why a lot of times I run long without water, is I'm kind of training my body to get used to that, and so far it's worked well. But some of the specific workouts that I've done are a lot of 6.5 hour rides that have and it's all done in the mountains behind me, but have all had a requirement of about 45,000 feet of climbing through just the ride. So that's included going up to the summit of Pikes Peak, doing a ton of hill repeats, even some speed work, some interval work, up and down, over and over and over. One of the big benefits of being part of the Slowtwitch Media House team is that we have access to slowtwitch.com, and one of the benefits of that site specifically is that gives a tremendous reach of communication and messaging from our team to so many people out there that maybe haven't been a part of triathlon or endurance. And to have that type of exposure and reach is really important to people that are just maybe trying to get into the sport, or maybe just want to be inspired by other people. And to be a part of that really goes a long way, I think, because of how inspiring it could be to other people, and to help people learn from us and maybe help them enhance their triathlon experiences or their endurance athletics as well. Going by, and the days are getting closer to races and stuff, especially these big races coming up. I can't help to be excited and proud of the work that I've done up to this point in terms of workouts and athletics. So I can't say I didn't put in 110% with everything I've done so far. So I'm pretty excited to see what's to come.